Hello students, welcome to the course on solid state. So in previous video, we have seen some theory part and solved some problems on solid state. Up to 16 questions, we have solved the problems. Now we will move to the next question, that is 17th question. An element occurring in the BCC structure has 12.08 into 10 raised to 23 unit cells. The total number of atoms of the element in these cells will be. So they have given one element is there and it will crystallizes in BCC structure. Okay, so in BCC structure, if the unit cell has BCC structure, then the number of atoms in BCC is 2. And they told you that there are totally 12.08 into 10 raised to 23 unit cells. So in one unit cell, there are 2 particles. If there are 12.08 into 10 raised to 23 unit cells, that means each unit cell consists of 2 atoms, and 12.08 into 10 raised to 23 unit cells consist of how many unit cells? Simply multiply that with 2. Then you will get the answer. There are, if you multiply this 2 into 12.08, that gives 24.16 into 10 raised to 23 unit cells. So this is the total number of atoms which are present in these elements of unit cells. So the option A is the right one, 24.16 into 10 raised to 23. The next question, potassium has a BCC structure with the nearest neighbor distance 4.52 angstrom. Its atomic weight is 39. Its density will be. So potassium crystal has BCC structure and they told you to find its density. So what is the formula of density? D is equal to Z into M divided by A cube into Na. So this is the formula to find the density. And to find this, you must know the value of Z, M, A and Na. Z is number of atoms. So if it crystallizes in BCC structure, then the number of atoms Z is equal to 2. And its atomic weight is 39. Means they have given capital M, that is the atomic weight, which is 39. And you need to find the density, that is question mark. And along with this, they have given the nearest neighbor distance is 4.52 angstrom. That means they have not given the edge length. They have given the diameter. That means if I consider the 2 atoms, okay, and they are separated by a certain distance, that distance is measured from the centers of these particles, that is centers of these spheres. And if I consider this one, it will represent R, radius, and for this sphere from center to this point, it again represents R. And if I say this point as A and this point as B, AB is equal to 2R, and this AB will represent the diameter. Okay, so the diameter is equal to 2R. That I can say D is equal to 2R, and R is equal to what? D by 2. So instead of writing R, we can write it as D by 2. That is nothing but radius. So they have given the diameter, that is D is equal to 4.52 angstrom, or 4.52 into 10 raised to 10 meter. So this is what they have given. So don't get confused with this D. This D is diameter and this one is density. Or you can also take rho as density. Density is also represented as rho. So if you get confused, consider instead of D, you can also take it as rho or D. Okay. Now, first you need to find the A value, because here Z is known, M is known, Na is also known. Na means Avogadro's number, that is given as Na is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So this is the given. Now find the value of A first, then you will get density. So how to find the value of A? Use the relationship between the radius and edge length for BCC. How you will give the relationship between R and A, radius and edge length? That is given as R is equal to root 3 divided by 4 into A. While deriving or calculating the packing efficiency, you have got this value for BCC. The relationship between radius and edge length for BCC is R is equal to root 3 divided by 4 into A. Then what is R? R is nothing but D by 2. So instead of R, I will write it as D by 2 is equal to root 3 by 4 into A. Now, 2 ones are 2 twos are. Simplify this simply. What you will get? D is equal to root 3 divided by 2 into A. But I want the value of A. So what A becomes? A is equal to 2D divided by root 3. Then 2D. So substitute the value of D. What is D? D means 4.52 into 10 raised to 10 meter. 4.52 into 10 raised to minus 10. Sorry, make this 10. 10 raised to minus 10. So 2.42 into 4.52 divided by another thing is root 3. Okay. So 2.2 into 4.52 divided by root 3 becomes equal to 5.22 angstrom. Okay. So this is the value of A, 5.22 angstrom. Or you can also write it as A is equal to 5.22 into 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Now find the density. Now you have the value of A. So substitute the values, you will get the answer. Z is what? 2 into M is 39 divided by what is A? 5.22 into 10 raised to minus 10 whole cube into 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So how much you will get? On simplification, you will get the value 9.10 gram per cubic centimeter. So how much you will get? 0.910 gram per cubic centimeter. But they told you to find the density in kg per cubic meter. So if you convert that, you will get 910 kg per cubic meter. So the density of the potassium is 910 kg per cubic meter. So among these options, option D is the right one. Next, 19th one. The cubic unit cell of a metal has the edge length of 362 picometer. Its density is 8.92 gram per cubic centimeter. The type of unit cell is. So these are the options. Now to find the type of unit cell, first you need to find the number of particles in that unit cells. If the number of particles is 1, then it is primitive. If the number of particles is 4, then it is face centered. And if the number of particles is 2, then it is body centered as well as end centered. Now, in order to get which type of unit cell is there, first you need to find the number of particles. So, first write down what they have given. It's a density. So, first density is given, that is D is equal to 8.92 gram per cubic centimeter. And the edge length of that unit cell is 362. Edge length is denoted as A. So 362 into 10 raised to minus 12 meter, because they have given in picometer, that can be written as 362 into 10 raised to minus 12 meter. And the molar mass of the unit cell or that metal is 63.55 grams per mole. Then what is the type of unit cell? As I have already told you, first find the number of particles, that is Z, and you know Na is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 gram per mole. Okay. Now this edge length, convert this into centimeter cube. Okay, because density is given in cubic centimeter. So edge length is given in meter. So convert that into centimeter. How you will convert? Simply on converting it into centimeter, you will get 3.62 into 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter. Now use the formula. What is the formula? D is equal to Z into M divided by A cube into Na. Okay. What do you want? Z. So Z is equal to D into A cube into Na divided by M. Okay. So substitute the values. What is the value of D? D is 8.92 into A is 3.62 into 10 raised to minus 8 whole cube into Na is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 whole divided by capital M. How much it is? Molar mass 63.55. So on simplification you will get 4.0. That is the value of Z. So 4.0 means the number of particles, okay, in the given unit cell is 4. So in which type of unit cell the number of particles is 4? I have already told you, in a face centered unit cell the number of particles is 2. So the option B is the right answer. The next 20th, AB crystallizes in a body centered cubic lattice with edge length A equal to 387 picometer. The distance between two oppositely charged ions in the lattice is. So they asked you to find the distance between the charged ions. As I have already told you, if I consider the two particles, okay, the distance is given or measured from their centers. Okay, if I consider this one as AB, this AB will represent the distance between the particles. They may be ions, atoms or molecules. Okay, now this one is R, this one is also R, and if I consider AB, that is equal to 2R, and this 2R is nothing but diameter. So diameter is equal to 2R, or D is equal to 2R, or R is equal to what? D by 2. And you need to find the value of D. You need to find D. So here use the relationship between radius and edge length. Which unit cell it is? BCC, body centered cubic unit cell. In previously we have taken this relation while solving the problem. Use the same formula, that is R is equal to root 3 divided by 4 into A. And what is R here? R is D by 2. So D by 2 is equal to root 3 divided by 4 into A. And D is equal to what? 2 into root 3 divided by 4 into A. Now substitute the values. So D is equal to 2 into root 3 divided by 4 into A means edge length. How much it is? 387 picometer. So simply substitute that 387. So how much you will get? Upon substitution you will get 335 picometer. That is the value of D. So the distance between the two oppositely charged ions in the lattice is 335 picometer. That is there in option A. So option A is the right one. Next, 21st question. A metal crystallizes in two cubic phases FCC and BCC whose unit cell lengths are 3.5 angstrom and 3.0 angstrom respectively. The ratio of their densities is. So here they have asked you to find the ratio of their densities. A same metal will crystallizes in two different cubic phases. One is FCC and another one is BCC. So simply you have to take the ratio of their densities. Okay, and they have given the edge lengths of those unit cells. Now what we have to do? First, write down what is the density of the first phase FCC. If a metal crystallizes in FCC, then what is the density? How we can represent? Call it as D1. Okay, for FCC, the D1 can be written as D1 is equal to Z1 into M divided by A1 cube into NA. Okay, this is D1. And for BCC, how you can write the density? D2, call it as D2, and it is taken as Z2 into M divided by A2 cube into NA. Okay, here see Z is different, A is different because A is given here 3.5 and 3.0, and the value of Z is also different because Z for FCC it is 4 and for BCC it is 2, and the M is same because a same metal, okay, not different metals, same metal only, it will crystallizes to FCC as well as BCC. So here the atomic mass will also remain same. So it will be kept as it is. In general, M, Na is a constant. So this is the value of D1, density of FCC crystal, and D2, it is the density of metal which crystallizes in BCC. Now what would be the ratio of the densities? So take the ratio D1 by D2 is equal to, D1 means Z1 into M divided by A1 cube into NA whole divided by Z2 into M divided by A2 cube into NA. Okay, now simplify this. What you will get? Na get cancels, M get cancels. Okay, what will remains? Z1 divided by A1 cube whole divided by Z2 divided by A2 cube. Now this A2 comes here and A1 will come here. So what it becomes? Z1 into A2 cube divided by Z2 into A1 cube. Now substitute the values. Z1 means number of atoms in FCC. The number of atoms in FCC is 4 into A2 cube. A2 means how much it is? 3.0 angstrom. This is A2 and this one is A1. So 3.0 divided by Z2 means 2 into 3.5. Okay, so that is A1 cube. Write that cube. Here I have not written 10 raised to minus 10 because at both the sides 10 raised to minus 10 is there, so they will get cancelled out. So I will simply written 3.0 cube, 3.5 cube. So on simplification, what you will get? You will get 1.46. Okay, that is the ratio of the densities of the metal crystal which crystallizes in FCC and BCC. So which option is right? Option C. It is 1.46. Next, 22nd question. Each of the following solids show the Frenkel defect except. So Frenkel defect means what? If I consider a crystal, okay, alternate positive and negative ions are present. Now, if one of the ion or atom or molecule, if it dislocates from its original site to interstitial site, this is interstitial site. Okay. Now, if it leaves original site and moves to interstitial site, then such type of defect is said to be Frenkel defect or dislocation defect. Okay, and here it will forms vacancy. We can represent this one like this. Okay, so here one atom will come and remain. Here it will become vacant space. So this is dislocation defect. For this defect to be happen in an crystal, the ions must have smaller size. Means anions must have larger size and cations must have smaller size. Then only the cations will move to the interstitial site and causes the Frenkel defect. Okay, here the cations and anions sizes are not same. They are relatively smaller compared to one another. One is bigger and another one is smaller. So among these four options, ZNS, it is an example of Frenkel defect. AGBR and AGI, these will also shows the Frenkel defect. But KCl is the only example for Schottky defect but not Frenkel defect. The KCl, NaCl, they show Schottky defect but not Frenkel defect. Hence, KCl is not an example of Frenkel defect. So the option D is the right one. Next, 23rd, the appearance of color in solid alkali metal halides is generally due to Schottky defect, Frenkel defect, interstitial positions, F center. So, whenever a solid alkali metal halide, when it is heated in its metal vapor, then the anionic vacancy is formed. Okay. So, upon formation of anionic vacancy, to maintain the electrical neutrality, the electron is trapped in this anionic vacancy, and that region where electron is trapped in anionic vacancy is known as F center. F means Farben center. So what this means? This means it imparts color to the crystal. From German word it is derived, that means color imparter, means it imparts or it gives color to the solid. Okay, so the appearance of color in solid alkali metal halides is generally due to F center. So option D is the right one. 24th, the defect causes decrease in the density of the crystal. So option A, Frenkel defect. Frenkel defect, you already learned that if there is a presence of the particles in the crystal like this, then upon arise of Frenkel defect, how it will be represented? One of the or two of the atoms will move to interstitial site, okay, leaving the original site. Okay, this is the Frenkel defect, and this crystal does not show any decrease in density because the number of particles will remain same inside the crystal, so density will not decreases. And Schottky defect, what is Schottky defect? In Schottky defect, there is a missing of equal number of cations and anions. If there are 4 cations and 4 anions, then there will be missing of 2 ions. One is cation and another one is anion. So the number of particles decreases in crystal lattice and hence the density will also decreases. So the defect which causes decrease in the density of crystal is Schottky defect. So the option B is right one. Okay. Next one, 25th, doping of AgCl crystals with 2CdCl results in. So this is an example of impurity defect. Okay, impurity defect that you have already learned, and it can be also known as substitutional cation vacancy, because Frenkel defect and Schottky defect will not result in the defect. Okay, only substitutional cation vacancy will be formed. And this one is the right one, option C. Okay. The next one, 26th. Which kind of defects are introduced by doping? Doping means addition of impurities to the semiconductors or any crystal. Now dislocation defect is nothing but Frenkel defect. Schottky defect, it is removal of cations and anions from the crystal. Dislocation means from original side to interstitial side, the ions or atoms will move. And Frenkel defect is also same as that of the dislocation defect. Electronic defect, this is the defect which is obtained by doping. Okay, so the option D is the right one. To increase the conductivity of semiconductors, we will add certain impurities, and that kind of defects are said to be electronic defects, because when we add the impurities, certain defects will occur in the crystal, and hence they are known as electronic defects. So the option D is the right one. 27th, doping of silicon with boron leads to. So doping, as I have already told, addition of impurities. So here if we add the boron as an impurity to the silicon, what will happen? What is the valency of silicon? Silicon's valence electrons, number of valence electrons will be 4. And boron, the number of valence electrons is 3, because its atomic number is 5. And electronic configuration is 2, 3. So the number of valence electrons is 3. And hence, upon addition, silicon consists of 4 valence electrons. 3 gets removed and occupied by electrons of boron, but 1 will remain vacant. Okay, the silicon is replaced by boron, and boron has only 3 electrons in its outermost shell. So 3 gets occupied and 1 will remain vacant. Okay, and it is known as hole, and it has positive charge. So due to the presence of positive charge or holes, the conductivity of the semiconductor will increases, and such type of semiconductors are said to be p-type semiconductors. So the example of p-type semiconductor is doping of silicon with boron, that is trivalent element. When trivalent element is added to the semiconductor, then it will form p-type semiconductor. Okay, so option B is the right one. It's 28th. To get an n-type semiconductor, the impurity to be added to silicon should have which of the following number of valence electrons to get the n-type? If trivalent impurities are added, then we will get p-type. Okay, that you have already seen in previous problem. And if we add pentavalent, okay, then we will get n-type semiconductors. Okay, so here the impurity to be added silicon should have which of the following number of valence electrons they have asked. So when we add pentavalent, then we will obtain n-type. Pentavalent means the number of valence electrons must be 5. So option D is the right one. It's 29th. If we mix a pentavalent impurity in a crystal lattice of germanium, what type of semiconductor formation will occur? So just now only you have seen, upon addition of pentavalent impurities, okay, we will get n-type semiconductors. So upon addition of pentavalent impurity, we will get n-type semiconductor. So the option B is the right one. Next 30. Which of the following metal oxides is antiferromagnetic in nature? So if you have gone through theory, then there you will find the oxides of manganese are examples of antiferromagnetic substances. Okay. Next one. Which of the following compound is like metallic copper in its conductivity and appearance? Among these four, option C, that is rhenium oxide. Rhenium oxide is the compound which shows the properties like metallic copper, such as conductivity and appearance. Rhenium oxide, remember this, ReO3. It shows the properties of metallic copper. Okay. 32. Which of the following type of substance can be permanently magnetized? As you know, diamagnetic substances are the substances which does not attract or weakly repelled by magnetic field. Ferromagnetic substances are strongly attracted by magnetic field, and even on removal of magnetic field, they behave as permanent magnets. Okay, so it means they are permanently magnetized. So the option B is the right one. And remaining ferrimagnetic, what it represents? Here the domains are aligned unequally in parallel and anti-parallel direction. Antiferromagnetic, the domains are arranged how? Compensatorily in opposite direction. So the net magnetic moment will be 0. So the option B is the right one. Next, 33. An element containing an odd number of electrons is paramagnetic, diamagnetic, antiferromagnetic, none of this. So here option A is the right one, because paramagnetic substance are the substances which are weakly attracted by magnetic field, and the reason for that is it consists of unpaired electron. Unpaired electron means it consists of odd number of electrons. Hence option A is the right one. Which of the following structure represents ferrimagnetism? So ferrimagnetism means the domains are arranged in unequal numbers, parallel and anti-parallel direction. So this, in these options, each arrow mark represent the domains, and in the first option the domains are arranged in same direction. So this kind of arrangement will be observed in ferromagnetic substances. And the second option, here the arrow marks or domains are arranged. Here if you observe, two are arranged in upward direction and another one is upward in downward direction, and again two are arranged in downward upper direction. Then they are unequally arranged. Okay, and hence this type of arrangement is observed in ferrimagnetic substances. And the third one, here all are arranged in compensatory way so that the net magnetic moment will be 0. So this type of arrangement will be observed in antiferromagnetic substances. So the option B is the right one. 35th. Which of the following statement is or are correct? Crystalline solids have definite characteristic geometrical shape. This one is right. Crystalline solids have long range order. That is also right. Sodium chloride and quartz glass are examples of crystalline solids. This one is also right. Crystalline solids are isotropic in nature. They are not isotropic, they are anisotropic in nature. So this one is wrong. The fourth statement is wrong. So 1, 2, 3 are correct. So which option is right here? Option A. 1, 2 and 3 are right statements. So the option A is the right answer. 36th. Which of the following type of solid has high melting point and do not conduct electricity, but its aqueous solution and melt conduct electricity? So Covalent solids, these are having extremely high melting point and boiling point, and they do not conduct electricity. If you see the ionic solids are poor conductors of electricity, but when they are dissolved in water or in an aqueous solution or in molten state, the ions become free and they are able to conduct the electricity. So hence the ionic solids in their aqueous solution and in their melt, they will conduct the electricity. See, the option B is the right one. Ionic solids. 37th, a group 1 hydride crystal when heated in presence of its constituent metal vapor shows pink color. This metal can be, so the group 1, it may be sodium, potassium, rubidium, lithium. All these are the first group elements, but they have mentioned pink color. Pink color was shown by lithium. It is the first group element which is when heated in presence of its constituent metal vapor shows pink color. The remaining sodium, yellow, potassium, it shows violet or lilac color. Okay. And 38th, a solid with high electrical and thermal conductivity is silicon is a non-metal, NaCl is a crystal, and ice is a hydrogen bonded molecular solid. So lithium is the metal which has high electrical and thermal conductivity. 39th, in a compound, atoms of element Y form CCP lattice and those of element X occupy 2/3 of tetrahedral ovoids. The formula of the compound will be, so you must know how many number of atoms are present in CCP and in other structures, and how the tetrahedral ovoids and octahedral ovoids are formed. If the number of particles n is n, then how many tetrahedral ovoids are formed and how many octahedral ovoids are formed, that you also know. So first remember, if the number of particles, okay, is n, then the number of octahedral ovoids, okay, octahedral ovoids formed is also n. If the number of particles is n, then the number of tetrahedral ovoids formed will be 2n. Okay. Now see, in a compound, atoms of Y element form CCP lattice. Okay. CCP lattice means, so Y will form CCP lattice, and how many number of atoms are there in CCP? CCP, it is also known as FCC, and you know the number of atoms present in FCC or CCP is 4. So 4 Y atoms are there, and X elements occupy 2/3 of octahedral ovoids. Here let us consider this 4 as n. Okay. If the number of particles is n, here tetrahedral ovoids are formed. The number of tetrahedral ovoids formed will be 2n. Okay. 2n means how much it gives? 2. n means how much? 4. So 2 into 4 is equal to 8. So the number of tetrahedral ovoids formed is equal to 8. So X will occupy 2/3 of tetrahedral ovoids. How many tetrahedral ovoids are formed? 8. So 2/3 of 8 is occupied by X. So now take the ratio X and Y. How many X are there? 2/3 into 8. And Y, how many Y atoms are there? 4. So what you will get? 2 into 8. How much it is? 16 divided by 3. Ratio 4. 4 ones are 4 fours are. So X, Y. 4 divided by 3. Ratio 1. So what you will get? X 4, Y 3. So this is the molecular formula of the compound. Okay, this is how we can calculate or determine the molecular formula of the compound by using the oids formed in the crystal lattice. Okay, next 40th. A substance AXBY crystallizes in a face-centered cubic lattice in which atoms A occupy each corner of the cube and atoms B occupy the centers of each face of the cube. Identify the correct composition of the substance AXBY. So what they have given? AXBY crystallizes in face-centered cubic lattice in which A occupy each corner of the cube. So each corner means how many atoms of A will be there? 1 by 8 into 8. So 8 corners are present in cube. It may be face-centered cube, body-centered or simple cube. In all types of cubic, there are totally 8 corners are there. From each corner, how much portion will belong to the unit cell? 1 by 8. So 1 by 8 into 8 is equal to 1. So the number of atoms is equal to 1. A atoms is equal to 1. And B occupy the centers of each face of the cube. So B is present at the face. Now, how many faces are there for cube? 6 faces. From each face, how much portion of atom belongs to the unit cell? 1 by 2. So, how much you will get? 3. Now, the formula of the compound will be A ratio B is equal to how many atoms are there? 1. And how many B atoms are there? 3. So what is the formula? AB3. This is the answer. So option A is the right one. AB3 is the formula for the given compound. 41st. Na and Mg crystallizes in BCC and FCC type crystals respectively. Then the number of atoms of Na and Mg present in the unit cell of their respective crystal is. Simple question it is. Na will crystallizes in BCC. So how many atoms are there in BCC? 2. And Mg will crystallizes in FCC. So the number of atoms will be 4. So 2 and 4. Which one is? It is option D is the right answer. Now 42nd. The edge length of unit cell is 3.608 into 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter, which crystallizes in FCC and is determined to have a density of 8.92 gram per cubic centimeter. The mass of 4 atoms is. So first write down what they have given. You need to find mass of the atom first, then mass of 4 atoms. So edge length of unit cell is A is equal to 3.608 into 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter, which crystallizes in FCC. So Z is equal to 4 and is determined to have a density of 8.92 gram per cm cube. Okay, gram per cm cube. The mass of 4 atoms. First, what is the mass of the atom? That you need to find. Use the formula B is equal to Z into M divided by A cube into Na. So Z is 4, okay, into M, keep it as it is, A cube. A means 3.608. So what you want here? Mass of the atom. So rearranging the equation, what you will get? D into A cube into Na divided by Z. Okay, what is density? 8.92 into A means 3.608 into 10 raised to minus 8 into Na means 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 whole divided by Z means 4. So simplify this, right? Make this cube. So on simplification you will get, So mass m is equal to 6.30 gram per mole. So this is the mass of one atom. So the atomic mass of element is 6.30 gram per mole. Okay, means 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms mass will be equal to 6.30. Okay, but they asked to calculate the mass of 4 atoms. So that means 4 atoms, the mass of 4 atoms will be, call it as x. So now simplify, x is equal to 6.30 into 4 divided by 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So on simplification, you will get 4.18 into 10 raised to minus 22. So the mass of 4 atoms will be 4.18 into 10 raised to minus 22. So the option A will be the right answer. These are all some important questions from solid state. Thank you.